Hi homeschoolers, it's me Jazz again here from Hidden Library Homeschool, and I'm back with the last part of my second grader's curriculum, his electives. But first up, I wanted to show you a couple of things that I forgot to mention in his other videos. I forgot to mention for science, It's Not the Stork, a book about girls, boys, babies, bodies, families, and friends. And I've had this book for a few years, but we never ended up using it. But I figured it would tie in very nicely with life science that we're doing this year. So it just has illustrations and explanations on how bodies differ and how they grow over time, like this one here showing how babies grow from the beginning to the end when they're about to come out of their mother and how they look more and more like a baby over time. I also have for science, Just for Boys, a book about growing up, and I picked this up at Five Below. I figured we would use this when we were talking about puberty. And I also have from the same company, well, it's the same book, just the girl version. Not sure why I picked this up with three boys. Maybe wishful thinking. I could use this in a couple of years, maybe. But really, I picked this up because if he has any questions about how girls change and how their bodies change over time, then we could flip through this book and he could, see the answers to his questions. I also have, I forgot to mention Living Long Ago. And we don't actually use this too often because a lot of our other books already talk about how their homes and their food and their dress changed over time and in different places, but we do use this from time to time, and it also has some short projects inside to do. I also have for history that I forgot to mention, and this is just for me when I'm doing lesson planning, just to make sure I'm getting all of my dates in order and putting things in the right place. I have Quick Study Academic World History 1 and 2. And for history, when I'm lesson planning, I also use ushistory.org. They are actually textbooks online. It's just, they're for older ages, but I just go over the information to make sure I kind of have an idea of what we are going over before we do it, before I teach Tony within his lessons. And the last thing I forgot to show you is this book here, National Geographic History Book, An Interactive Journey. And I really like this book, but it's probably not one that you would just hand to a younger kid for them to flip through, because there are 20 copies of documents inside, and if I can show you, it's going to be a little awkward because this book is really heavy. There are flaps, like right here, there's 4 flaps, and there's lots of different documents inside. So here is another one of these flaps. And let's see if I can get this out of here. I love how they have all of the little documents. They have them kind of looking worn and, old-timey. And this right here is a copy of one of Mozart's symphonies. And like I said, they have it kind of like that yellowish, oldish. Looks like it's been used even though it's just a copy look. And there are many different other things in here. There's a wanted poster for John Wilkes Booth. There's a copy of the Gutenberg Bible. There's blueprints to the Titanic, and there's lots of other different historic documents in here. So it's nice to have that to kind of give the kid the document, and it's not just looking at the picture in a book. You're kind of, getting a feel for it at the same time. For memory, we are doing these 2 books. We've been using these for the past couple of years, A Child's Garden of Verses and Favorite Poems of Childhood. These 2 Dover books, but I've been wanting to get for a long time. This book here, and I finally found it at a good price, the Random House Book of Poetry for Children. So this has a lot of the same poems that are in those 2 books there, except many, many more, and we've just been flipping through this and finding new things, new poems for Tony to memorize. And I've been showing on my thumbnail to all of his curriculum videos this book here, What Your Second Grader Needs to Know. And we don't actually use this book during the school year. We use it more during the summer. Since for science, we're just going over one topic, life science. And for history, we're just in the Middle Ages and Renaissance. I don't want him to not know anything about other time periods and other things in science, so we go over this as kind of an overview of those topics. So say we're not really doing anything for American history right now, but we can kind of go over those topics quickly over the summer so he has some idea of what's happened within American history. And also we do that within science. And we'll probably also use over the summer Thunderbolt Kids to go over different science topics. Another elective that we're doing is going to be chess, and we have no stress chess, and I don't know how to play chess at all. Someone tried to teach me once and it didn't stick, but I figured that this would be a fun way for us both to learn together. It has these little cards here that tell you when, where, and how all of the little chess pieces can be moved. And also, as an elective, he is doing coding. He's doing code.org, and he started that over the summer, and he really enjoys that. He usually does that on my tablet when I'm working with his younger brothers. And for art, we are doing Art Everywhere. And this is actually a public school textbook, For art, he is doing a class at our local library that's going to be doing art projects and also science projects. And I always look at all of the, more elaborate art programs that have, all these big activities and big projects, but I know they're not going to get done at home. I know that we will get distracted with and not get into them, or the little boys will kind of get in the way for us, doing things that have maybe smaller pieces or use things that little kids aren't supposed to really be around. So we never end up getting into the more elaborate projects. So I wanted him to do at the library program. He'll be doing more projects there, but I wanted something that we could do kind of something a little bit lighter to do at home with art. So this has very short lessons in it. All the lessons, they're pretty short, and they go over different art vocabulary. And it also goes over, if I can find one, different artists and photographers and sculptors and just different artists. It goes over them too. But it's a lot more manageable. I feel like we can get the projects in here done and we can get the lessons done. It doesn't take too long. And of course we pair that with brain pop videos, which we seem to pair with everything within our homeschooling. And for art, we also have a home art studio, 3rd grade. And the reason we're in 3rd grade and not 2nd grade is because when we did this in kindergarten, we were going over different countries, and the 1st grade version of this art program goes over different countries. So we started out in 1st grade. And for art, I picked these up at the Dollar Tree, Learn to Draw, and I wanted something for him to do when I'm working on with his little brothers, something that he can do that was kind of school, but wouldn't get him too distracted by, maybe going into a different room and playing or something. It was kind of keep him in the school mode when I'm working with his little brothers. We have pets, safari animals, sea life, dinosaurs, bugs and butterflies, and also zoo animals. So he'll be doing that when I'm working with his little brothers. And for our foreign language, we are doing signing time sentences. And we actually have all of the signing time DVDs. I'm pretty sure we have all of them, maybe not 1 or 2, but we don't have the potty time one, but he's well past that, so it's not like we need it. So we have signing time sentences, and he knows a lot of signs. We kind of slacked on sign language last year, and he did forget a little bit, but he's picking it up a lot again, and he knows a lot of the signs, but he doesn't know how to put them together into proper ASL sentences. So this signing time sentences teaches kids how to do that. And this is the first of the DVDs in the series. The second one is coming out in a couple of months, and we're really excited about getting that one because we like seeing how Alex and Leah have changed from little kids and now they're, college age. And with sign language, we are also doing LifePrint. That is, I don't know if it's lifeprint.org or .com. I will link it below when I find out which one it is, but we use LifePrint also as our sign language. From signing time, we also have story time, and they're 2 practice DVDs, ABCs, and 1, 2, 3s. And for our second foreign language, I wasn't sure if we would go back to Spanish or start up with Latin. But I figured we would just do something that we already enjoy and that our family really likes already and something that we already have. And I was kind of hesitant to show this on YouTube because I have a feeling that some people will make comments of how we should be doing something more real or more worthwhile, but this is something our family really enjoys and that we really love. And I think it's actually our favorite subject to do together because we just have so much fun speaking in it and coming up with new sentences and saying things to each other in this. So we are doing, for our second foreign language, I just hit myself in the face. We are doing Springboard to Languages, a unique introduction to foreign language. And the reason they call this a unique introduction to foreign language is because it actually uses Esperanto to teach language awareness and grammar. And I am a conlanger at heart, so this is right up my alley. But one of the reasons that I picked this program is because I saw a TEDx video of Tim Morley, and I will link the video below, him speaking about how this program is used within some British schools when they don't have a native foreign language teacher that can teach the kids. A lot of times they will start with this program as kind of training wheels for other foreign languages later on when they're, at a later age to learn them. Because a lot of times, a lot of foreign language teachers, they'll start in middle school and not in elementary school, but elementary school is a time to really get the kids to start, getting their brains to think in another way other than their mother language. So some of the schools over there are using this program. And we started this a couple of years ago. You can see some of the stickers, we already put them on. We stopped it only because there's a lot of writing in this, and he wasn't ready for all the writing, so we ended up just using a lot of Duolingo last year, but this year we've come back to it, and he seems to be ready for it this year. So this came with all of these folders with different topics in here for us to go over. It came with a couple other of those folders. It came with the teacher handbook with all of our lessons. It came with the resource handbook, and this has all of the printables for me to copy. It came with this Wise Owl grammar book, and this goes over lots of different grammar. And not just within Esperanto, it's also for English, and it's not that there's something wrong with our other grammar program with the Voyages in English. It's just that I don't think English grammar is very fun for him. So it seems to be that he's picking up more grammar from this program than in our actual English grammar program. So this goes over different nouns. I'm getting a bad glare. And it goes over abstract nouns, concrete nouns, how when you're using capital letters. It goes over plural and singular nouns, and it goes over, it's teaching kids about other language. Like I said, it's supposed to be about language awareness also. So kids are learning, say you were learning your nouns in French. You would have to learn both masculine and feminine. And you would not only have to learn those with how we use them in English for maybe girls, boys, and animals, a boy and a girl animal, but also for other nouns like, say, your table or your book. And then it tells you on the other page, well, say you were learning you were learning German. Not only would you have to learn your nouns in masculine and feminine, but you would also have to learn some neuter nouns. And it's telling you how all of those would be used in German. So just getting the kids aware that not all languages work the same way, that some of them you'd have to learn different things. And it also goes over in here about definite, indefinite articles. It goes over, let's see, what else does it go over? Subjects and objects, and lots of different grammar, and possessive, and plural, and all that kind of stuff. And I also have Fun with Word Builders. This came with it, and this talks about how within Esperanto, how say you're learning one word, you're learning the word for father, patro, and you want to make it into female, patrino, then you would have mother. And teaching the kids how to build other words from one word in Esperanto. And it came with all of these little pages in here. There's a couple of them in here. And like I said with the other one, it's not just teaching about Esperanto, it's teaching about how languages, some are related and how some are different. And it's right here, it's telling you the kids the color. In English we say violet, in Esperanto we say viola. This is how it says, how it's said in French, and it's pretty similar. This is how it's said in German, and it looks pretty similar. And this is also how it's said in Greek, and that is pretty similar. So it's teaching kids language families also, or how some things may be the same in one or different in another. It also came, I'm dropping things. It also came with these little storybooks in here. And we went over these last year. There's a couple of different books in here, and he thought they were pretty funny. And I like that this is completely in Esperanto, and not too far in, not even a couple months in, he actually understands it. And that's one of the reasons why we are using this, and why in the YouTube video that I'm gonna link, it's talking about this language, how pretty early on kids can get an understanding. And it doesn't take them years and years to get to an understanding. It takes them within a couple of months. So we also have the songs. This came with a lot of stuff. The song CD, one of their storybook CDs. It came with conversations, and it also came with games. That's the way. And this has games that you print off for the kids to do. It also came with this, and this is, it didn't come with the pack. We just use this for wet erase. So like I said, it's teaching also about English grammar, and their kids are finding the different nouns. And if I gave this to him within our English program, I would hear whines. If I give this to him within Esperanto, even though it's teaching about English, the fact that I'm giving it to him within Esperanto, I don't hear whining about it. So I am just loving the fact that he thinks that this is fun. And it also came with this Usborne book here, 1,000 Words in Esperanto, and it's just like all the other 1,000-word books, like the Spanish and Arabic and every other language that Usborne has books on. And it came with all of these stickers. I'm dropping everything. And you can see we started with these last year, and we're just, you know, using them to mark our place. And so he's just been working on that, and he thinks it's so much fun. He loves it. Whenever I say, we have this to do and this to do, he wants to, well, can we do Esperanto? He loves it. So we have been working on lately opposites, and it's just teaching the kids, say in Esperanto we might say bona, and that means good, and how to make the opposite, malbona. And like I said, once we get to English, he doesn't want to do it, so I ended up writing it the English version, but he had so much fun writing the Esperanto version of the opposites. And since it's very phonetic, and if you know how it sounds, you know how to read it, so I was able to give him, you know, short pages like this, and I can give this to him, and he can do this himself and know, without me even saying it, he can say it himself and know what all the colors are, and he filled this in. So lately we've been working on this right here, and this is talking about nouns, how, say in English we might say gray elephant, and if we want to make it plural, just the elephant is plural, but gray is not. But in other languages you would have to learn that the adjective and the noun are both going to be plural in some languages. So this is kind of just giving him an introduction on how other languages work. So yeah, that is all that we are doing for our electives for this semester. Next semester we'll probably be doing both music and poetry and possibly Latin. I'm not sure if we're going to go to that, but we're having a lot of fun with Esperanto, so we'll probably definitely continue with that. So yes, that is all that we are doing, and this is the final video, finally, of all of his 2nd grade curriculum, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks for checking this video out from Hidden Library Homeschool. Please like, comment, and subscribe below. Bye!